Hi everyone, in this video we will be covering a few important details with regard to your application process. So a lot of individuals come under various categories and the process for each individual is different. So in this video we are hoping to cover the process for SESD, PWD, NC-OBC and the EWS categories. We also have a quick FAQ section towards the end to answer any queries that we usually receive. Now to begin with, I want to tell you to visit the official CAT website wherein you can check the eligibility details in addition to a few other important forms that you might require. So first go to iimcat.ac.in and once there you can scroll down and here you will find various forms and certificates that are required for your process. The first important document that you need to be looking at is the CAT 2022 eligibility document. Within this document you get the details regarding the eligibility, the reservation and a few important pointers for PWD, SESD and various other candidates. So before you start off with your application process, make sure you watch this video completely and also go through the important documents on the CAT website. Let's get started. Now we will be going through a few important reminders to keep in mind for each different person of different categories. We'll start off with the eligibility criteria. As you're aware, you need your 10th score and your 12th score. In addition to that, you require your UG scores. If you're in your final year of the UG, that is absolutely fine. There are different minimum eligibility criteria for SESD and PWD, which is 45%, and for the general EWS and NCOBC category, it is 50%. Now, when it comes to reservation, a certain percentage of seats are reserved for each category. You can go through the specific details on our slide here. We've mentioned the important numbers. In addition to that, it is important to remember that the change in the category will not be entertained once you finish your application form. So while you're filling the form, be extremely cautious and ensure that you're filling in the right details, because while there will be a window to change a few details like the name and percentages, you cannot change anything when it comes to your category. So while you're filling the form for the first time, be extremely cautious. Now when it comes to PWD, the eligibility is that a person is not without less than 40% of the specified disability. Now the specified disability is a list of categories and you can find that on the official CAT website and you can check if you belong to any one of those specified disabilities. In addition to that, you are encouraged to apply for an UDID. This is not mandatory, but the CAT website mentions that you are encouraged to apply. Now, when it comes to the SESD category, it is important to have a few details that are mentioned in your certificate for sure. So some of those details include the name of the caste or the scheduled tribe as mentioned by the Government of India. In addition to that, you must check whether you are having your district, state or union territory details in the certificate. You must also check if the appropriate Government of India schedule under which your caste or tribe appears is also mentioned in the certificate. All these details are absolutely vital, without which your certificate will not be approved. In addition to that, your CAT application may also be discarded. So be very careful while you're getting your certificate. Do a double check for all these specific details. Now, when it comes to NCOBC, there are a few eligibility criteria to keep in mind. The gross annual family income, especially the parent's income, is what is considered here, not your income or your sibling's income. So the income must be less than 8 lakhs. In addition to that, they must be in the list of communities that is mentioned in the NCOBC list, which is also found in the CAT website. You must also have a community certificate in addition to the NCOBC certificate. Now, the process of getting a community certificate can be different. If your working parent is a salaried employee, you would require your income certificate and after that you will be able to get your NCOBC certificate. If your working parent is a self-employed individual, you would require your ITR acknowledgement receipt for the past 3 years, following which you can get your NCOBC certificate. Next, it is important that the certificate depicts a few important criteria similar to the other categories. The first thing is that your name must be mentioned as it is in any of your government proofs or identity cards, following which you should have an authorized signature. The authorized signature varies from state to state, so it should usually not be anything less than the ranking of a Tehsildar within your particular state. So look at your state guidelines to see the ranking of the government officials. This is also mentioned in the CAT website in general regarding the ranking of the government officials, but it is always advised that you check out your state specific guidelines to ensure that the signature is actually valid. Following which, you should also ensure that in the certificate, the candidate must be mentioned as belonging to a non-creamy layer or does not belong to a creamy layer. So this sentence is extremely valid as well. So make sure that you have that in your certificate. The EWS category once again has a set of rules for the eligibility. The first one being you should not belong to NCOBC or SESD categories. The gross annual family income must be less than 8 lakhs. You must not own 5 acres of agricultural land. And there are also a few details regarding flats and plots, the specifics of which are mentioned in the CAT website. So definitely go through those as well. You must also provide an income and asset certificate, which is once again authorized by a government official, not below the rank of a tehsildar. A few things to keep in mind as a general rule of thumb. Ensure that you will have these certificates ready at the time of your application. As mentioned before, you cannot change these details in the future. So while you're filling the application form, be extra cautious and ensure that all your details are right. These certificates must also be provided at the time of your CAT application, at the time of your interview, and at the time of selections at the IIMs. These certificates for the NC-OBC and the EWS are only valid for 1 financial year. So keep in mind regarding that when you're actually applying for this certificate. Now the certificate application process can take a long time. There can be a few iffy processes along the way. So for example, a colleague of mine had to apply for the certificate 4 times, and it became a very hassle process because it got delayed a lot and it came to the last minute. So ensure that you're not going in under this process, and make sure that you're applying on time. In fact, start applying today, even though the deadline is a few weeks away. Make sure that you start applying right now so that you can have ample amount of time to fill your form with a peace of mind, right? Now that we've covered the basics regarding all the categories and what you need to keep in mind for the application process, the last time that we made a video similar to this, we had a lot of questions in our comment section. We wanted to take a few of the frequently asked questions and answer them for you. Of course, if you have questions that go beyond the scope of this video and the frequently asked questions section, you're free to post them in the comment section today, and we will be happy to help you out if we know the answers to any of these. At the same time, our community will also be able to help out if they've faced any similar issues. So feel free to post your queries in the chat. Okay, so these are a few questions that we got the last time we made this video. In the scope of this entire video and during this FAQ section, there may be a few questions that we haven't covered. If you have any queries or doubts that go beyond this video, please put them in the comment section below and we'll do our best to help you out. Okay, so now to the FAQ questions. Is the regional language fine? Absolutely, you can have your certificate in a regional language or in English. It's not going to be an issue. The one approved by government is fine, or do we require a specified format from the CAT website? The one that is approved by the government should be absolutely fine. Are digitally signed certificates okay? Yes, your certificate can be digitally signed and it is still valid. Is NC-OBC certificate and community certificate the same? No, they're different. Do we require self-attestation? No, you do not require any self-attestation. Is an address mismatch okay? Yes, you can have a different address of residence and a different address mentioned in the certificate, and that should be fine. Thank you everyone for watching this video. As mentioned before, if you have any further queries, please put them in the comment section below and we'll do our best to help you out. Ensure that you're not delaying the application process, as we can see that it can take some time. So make sure you're leaving ample amount of room for any sort of issues that may come up. All the best, guys.